is going to now stall the House the remainder of the session after the budget is presented. Very next day, there's going to be a showdown over Pegasus. Now, viewers, what really is the problem here? An international consortium of journalists came out to say that worldwide, various governments had bought Israeli software made by an Israeli private company called NSO. This software is called Pegasus and doubles up as spyware. It can be embedded in people's phones, and the phones then become willing tools in the hands of the user. You can switch on the video, you can listen to the audio, you can snoop on an individual. This particular software is usually used by governments. It is only sold to governments. That's at least what NSO says, after the Israeli government signs off. So the NSO says we are being approached by, let's say, the French government. The Israeli government then gets in and looks at this particular request, signs off on it, and then NSO sells to the French authorities. Now, viewers, this particular consortium, a journalist came out and said that 300 Indians, including some ministers in the present government, had been snooped upon by the NDA that purchased this particular software to illegally hack people's phones, especially their opponents, to try and neutralize them, presage what they were about to do, subvert any intention that they might have to take on or report against the state. Now, viewers, this claim was made very openly on the floor of Parliament by Congress party and other opposition parties that immediately picked up this reportage. Viewers, the Supreme Court was roped in because some of these individuals who said that they had been snooped on went and filed a petition in the Supreme Court seeking a probe. The government said, look, these are national security issues. We're not getting into whether we used this particular software, procured it or not, because it will give our opponents an advantage. The court, led by the Chief Justice, the bench said, nothing doing. We are not going to give you an exemption on the basis of invoking national security. There are certain issues like privacy, which are fundamental right under the Constitution that need to be upheld, and you can't get away. We are setting up an inquiry under a committee, a 3-member committee, technical committee headed also by a judge. So they made it 4 members to look into whether these phones had been compromised, whether these phones, these 300 phones belonging to certain individuals, had been infected by this spyware. Now, viewers, this is very much in line with what the demand was that was made by the opposition, that there must be an independent probe. Nothing more neutral than a Supreme Court appointed committee, viewers. And one would have thought that these individuals would have come forth with their phones, submitted them, and then the committee would have found, if the allegations were true, spyware. And that would have obviously set in motion a whole series of circumstances which would not have been favorable to the government at the center, because they would have had to come out and clear the air on how these phones ended up becoming infected by that spyware. Now, one would have thought that they would have rushed to the committee, taken their phones, submitted their phones. Viewers, of these 300, only 2 have shown up. Highly placed sources have told Times Now that only 2, at best 3 people have shown up, have submitted their devices since October 2021. Viewers, we were told that only 2 devices have been submitted for forensic tests so far. Despite many letters, alleged victims are not joining the probe. Pandemic to data safety are non-compliance issues. So they say that, look, our phones will be taken from us and they will be put to all sorts of use. These individuals will not just extract what they need to know, but also our private messages, and they'll circulate them with the government. Now, viewers, look at the hollowness of this argument, because all these individuals had no problem submitting their phones to some third party, some private investigators that they engaged to check whether their phones had spyware or not. But they don't trust the Indian state. They don't trust the Supreme Court appointed committee, largely of forensic experts and academics. viewers, questions are now being asked as to why. I want to go straight across to Madhav Das Gopalakrishnan. What have these highly placed sources told us? It's very important, Madhav, that we get to the bottom of this. Why have only 2 or 3 people come forth?
Well, Rahul, when we tried to do a status check of what transpired, and we visited the website. This is the website of the Pegasus India investigation. If you look at it, the members of the committee are all listed over here. Their names are there. But we tried to find out how many of these persons had actually deposed before the committee. On the website, it's completely blank. So we went and approached our sources and tried to find out from them what exactly is the truth. How many of these 300 plus individuals whose names are listed as those whose phones were allegedly snooped upon, or where this spyware would be found, fragments of it would allegedly be found, how many of them have actually come forth and submitted their devices? It was quite shocking to learn, and our colleague, our legal editor Harish Nair, did a lot of legwork around this, and in fact sources telling him that it was in fact only 2 persons who've actually submitted. Now there have been 2 rounds of advertisements where deadlines have been given to individuals to come forth before this particular committee, I beg your pardon. There have been assurances given to them. What could be the possible reason, the ostensible reason for these individuals not coming before this committee? A, it is the fact that they would lose their device for a significant amount of time. B, that their privacy would not be protected. And when we spoke to members of the committee, they said that they have assured them that they can come for a limited number of hours, whether it's 2 hours, 3 hours, however long it takes to copy the device. They can delete their private data, which they do not want shared with the committee, or they can ask for certain data to be deleted. They would be shown the copy of the data that has been copied, and it's only after they satisfy themselves that they would be allowed to go. Now, with such assurances also coming in from the committee, what could be the possible reason for these members, or those even who are petitioners who've knocked on the door of the Supreme Court, to not submit their data? These are some very important and very basic questions, concerns. We've also spoken to several of those who are petitioners, and they have also shared with us that they have concerns of privacy, and that's why they have approached this particular committee to give them certain assurances.
Okay.
With those assurances given, what now is it that they are waiting for?
So viewers, let me now point out a few things. We spoke to one of those individuals who supposedly have submitted his phone. His name is J. Gopi Krishnan, and he is a journalist. Listen in, viewers, to what he says. Pay close attention.
I expected a lot of journalists and petitioners and opposition leaders like Rahul Gandhi, Abhishek Banerjee, whose phones were also tapped. Opposition leaders will come out. Yesterday I tweeted to Rahul Gandhi also. You're talking a lot on the Pegasus issue. Your name was also there. Have you approached the Supreme Court committee? I don't think people say, when you give your phone, this committee leaks what happens. You have to believe somebody.
Well, there you go, viewers. You have to believe and trust somebody. They don't trust your own safety. Some of these individuals have gone to some third-party vendors, some private operators, to get their phones checked for Pegasus, and they've all come back and said, yes, we have Pegasus. Why they can't trust the Supreme Court appointed committee, I don't know. But perhaps, viewers, just listen to what Rahul Gandhi has said, and also Mamata Banerjee in the past. Look at the way they position the argument. But they haven't gone. And Mr. J. Gopi Krishnan is surprised. Listen to this.
मेरा फोन टैप किया, ये मेरे प्राइवेसी का मामला नहीं है, ये राहुल गांधी की प्राइवेसी का मामला नहीं है। मैं विपक्ष का एक नेता हूं, मैं जनता की आवाज उठाता हूं, ये उस पर आक्रमण है।
Instead of giving money to the poor, you are spending lots of money for spygiri, spying, beating, killing, and talking too much, doing nothing. Now because of Pegasus, can you imagine? I have done one thing, I am showing you. देखो हम पूरा इसको प्लास्टर कर दिया. क्या करेगा? फोन लगा के क्या करेगा? कैमरा में पूरा तुल लेता है. हम ऑडियो.
There you go, viewers. So this is how they've gone to public, but they haven't gone to the committee. And I want to ask some basic questions. Sanjay Jha, what's the problem here? What's the hesitation? You don't trust the Indian state? You don't trust a Supreme Court appointed committee that says that we are going to examine your phone in front of you. We will take down whatever we need to in front of you and then show you what we've downloaded and give you back your phone, and you'll be on your way. How much more transparency? Or is this all about political grandstanding? Don't go, but keep churning the news, keep picking up all sorts of strained, tendentious articles from this and that, and also, of course, tenuous articles from this and that, and play them and make a song and dance, stall Parliament, and, of course, wreck taxpayers' money. Is that what this is about, sir? Sanjay Jha?
Well, Rahul, a quick answer. Firstly, I'm in a car, so I hope my audio is going to be clear to you. I hope it is. Okay. Rahul, quick points. I think you are missing a very core news that your research team hasn't told you.
Right.
Already there has been a deposition made before the Supreme Court panel by a team of cybersecurity experts who have confirmed that several of the petitioners had the Pegasus in them. This has been officially declared already to the Supreme Court panel. So there is evidence today that Pegasus is indeed being abused or misused or obviously flagrantly, kind of violated by the current government. And because, as you rightly said, only a government could have bought it. And by the way, the New York Times report, please don't trash it, Rahul, is serious business.
Really? Can you point out one? No. Can you point out one individual they've quoted?
Well, let me tell you, this is a report quoted on the front page.
No. I don't care which page it is on. Can you tell me who they have quoted? One source.
Well, 1 minute. I'm not here to disclose sources that I don't know.
I'm not asking you to disclose any source. I'm asking you on what basis the New York Times made this damaging claim against Indian democracy. Have they quoted anybody?
Well, let me tell you, has the government of India denied?
No, forget the government. I'm asking you, where has the New York Times attributed this story to whom? You've read the piece.
I'm talking about the...
You asked me not
Rahul,
to. No, I didn't even. Hang on, 1 minute. I didn't even name the New York Times. You've named it and said I'm dismissive of it. I'm not. I'm just asking you as a journalist. I find it strange. We never do a story, viewers, without disclosing the source of the story.
Well, this is the Indian Express, not the New York Times.
No, the Indian Express is represented. No, sir. You said it's on the front page, so you must have read the New York Times. Tell me. Let's go to the source. Forget the Indian Express. I can't speak for their motivations, and neither can you. I'm talking about straight the New York Times, the source. Who have they quoted?
Let me finish.
Who have they quoted? Have they even mentioned sources, highly placed sources? No, nothing.
Be kind to me, man. I'm in the car.
Tendentious reporting. I'm not saying that it is New York Times who's reporting tendentious, because you can always be sued, viewers. My point is, you can say highly placed sources in government, highly placed sources in intelligence agencies, highly placed sources amongst the people that Mr. Jha is quoting have told us, have shown us evidence. No, you will write any old thing and the great opposition here will leap on it. This is not even based in fact. Viewers, let me tell you, when Swedish radio broke the Bofors scam, they had a deposition. When Italian press broke the Choppergate, VVIP Choppergate scam, they had depositions. When viewers, and let's go into the big scams that were broken. When people talked about Union Carbide, they had depositions. This report has no verifiable source. It's just a claim. Nonetheless, let me bring in. Fair enough, sir. You have your point. You made it.
Rahul, the government has not denied the New York Times report. Please remember.
The government doesn't need to, sir. It doesn't need to deny any Joe Blow. Who is the New York Times? Who is the New York Times? Who is the New York Times? Who is the New York Times?
It is one of the most
Who is the New York Times?
in the world.
It can be America's, sir, whatever. Do we know the funding sources of the New York Times? We don't. We don't know. Do you know their motivations? We don't know. Are you going to put your hand on your heart and say that we believe every word that is printed out in the New York Times? I don't think you will. Nonetheless, let me bring in Shahzad Poonawala. Shahzad Poonawala, the great New York Times, not the Supreme Court of India, should be our guiding force. Is that the way it should be? Why hasn't your government come out and said that we have not, in fact, done what the New York Times has accused us of? Your minister has come out and said that it is Supari newspaper. Why doesn't it come out and address the issue?
Because they're lying. Because they're lying. The government is guilty.
So let him answer.
Rahul, for somebody who's sitting in a car, He's awful louder than his horn. Can I please speak now? Thank you.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
So, Rahul, first of all,
Answer
Pegasus.
the question, don't make wisecrack.
Rahul, Pegasus bahana hai. Parliament. Rahul, if you want to continue with a suspended Congress leader whose mindset and logic seems to be more suspended than
the point. Okay, Siddharth Punala, make your point. Make your point. Answer. Why haven't you responded? Yeah, officially. Go ahead.
Yeah, Rahul, some people would deserve to be called suspended logically rather than suspended Congress leader. Now let me make my point without being interrupted for the third time.
प्रश्न का जवाब दो कोई जवाब है क्या
Okay, you're stopping him from responding. You're counting down the time on the show and you're allowing him to.
I'm sitting in a car and this guy is basically giving dialogues.
Let him respond. Let him respond.
Yeah.
Let him respond. Get to the point. Yeah, Mr. Punala. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
Like I was saying, Rahul, Pegasus bahana hai, Parliament par fir se nishana hai. You see, every time the Parliament session comes around, you have a bunch of people who put parivarik interest above national interest. Do not...
Rahul,
Rahul, I will not continue this debate unless you are willing to allow me the courtesy I extended to him.
He didn't step in and say that, you know, you were being loose with your facts, etc. He kept quiet. So let's show him the dignity. If you can't, then you may as well mute yourself. I don't know what else to say. Please.
Rahul.
He's answering you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Go ahead.
No, Rahul, this is absolutely unfair. I heard out whatever he had to say. He has no locus standi. He doesn't even represent the Congress anymore. I still heard him out, but now let me make my point. Every time the Parliament session comes around, instead of discussing issues of national interest, you find the Congress party put issues of parivarik interest and make Parliament a forum for ghamasa, not samadhan. A forum for instead of making it a forum for discussion, they make it a forum for disruption. Now, I have a few questions. There is a sub judice rule, by the way, which Sanjay Jha will not know about because probably he is suspended in his logic too. The sub judice rule says that if a matter is before the Supreme Court, it is disallowed to be discussed in Parliament. Having said that, we are not the ones who will treat New York Times as the gospel. The Supreme Court has already taken cognizance, constituted an independent panel, which they, by the way, hailed as extremely progressive and something that will save democracy. Today, why don't they have so much faith in that panel to go and submit their phones? And by the way, the Supreme Court panel issued a notice after confirmation from the Supreme Court, a public notice saying that those who suspect that their phones have been tapped or their phones have been infected by Pegasus should come and submit their phones to us for a technical evaluation.
Okay.
Why haven't they gone to that particular committee which is the mandate of the Supreme Court has issued a public notice? Finally,
look, we can forget about the New York Times. A very simple, straightforward way to resolve. Coming to you, Doctor, coming to you. Give me 30 seconds. One simple way of resolving this entire controversy. And by the way, you know, a large number of Indians might have great faith in the New York Times. A large number of Americans themselves don't have faith in the New York Times. So let's just set that aside. This is not about someone's journalism. This is not about the New York Times. This is about the reluctance of the very same individuals who claim that they are infected with Pegasus or their mobiles are infected with Pegasus, have not gone to the Supreme Court expert committee and submitted their phones for examination, which I find strange. Doctor?
Yeah, Rahul, if you are saying that only 2 people have submitted their phones,
yes, sir,
and one of them is Mr. Gopi Krishnan, I would like to ask Shehzad Poonawala why the 2 ministers who are on that list, Mr. Ashwini Vaishnav and Mr. Prahlad Patel, have not submitted their phones. Obviously, both of them, even assuming one of them is the second person.
Okay, let him respond. Let him respond. Mr. Poonawala, I'm dying seconds on this show. Quick response. Why are your 2 ministers not gone?
Can I please respond? Can I please respond?
Yes.
Can I please respond?
Yes.
Because those ministers are not naive. Those ministers are not naive, nor are they trying to use this issue to politicize and gain political capital. Those who feel that their phones have been actually hacked or been infected by Pegasus are free to submit it. It is not incumbent that you generate a list and everybody on that list should follow what you should be saying. So please, 1 second, sir, I did not interrupt you. What is this bad habit of making a point but not listening to the answer?
Let me just step in. Viewers, I'm running out of time. Look, viewers. It is incumbent upon those who have gone to court with a grievance. The ministers haven't gone to court. And if those individuals have gone to court and a committee has been set up, that committee has been set up, viewers, on taxpayer money, by the way. And therefore, they should follow through, submit their phones. They might be 6, they might be 8, they might be 10, they might be 12. Submit your phones in good faith. As they say, we'll know the truth. I leave it to that, viewers. It's a complicated issue. At the heart is national security and privacy. Privacy more than national security, and I hope that sooner than later we have clarity on all counts. I'm leaving it at this, viewers. A lot more coming up in just a few moments.